Here I have my wife's 2013 Nissan Altima with the 4-cylinder engine. It has almost 200,000 miles on it, and it still starts perfectly fine. But I don't want to take that chance. This is a lot of miles on this car, and if she ever gets stranded in this car because the starter dies, it's going to become my problem and my headache. I don't want to deal with that, so it's just best to prematurely change it out. But of course, we all know how aftermarket starters nowadays can be a crapshoot, so you better believe I'm not throwing away the original starter. I'm going to hold on to it and keep it inside the box. This is the starter I'm going with off of Rock Auto. Now, I've been using TYC starters for years on many customers' cars, and I've never had a single issue or comeback with a TYC starter. Never. Now, starters like from AutoZone, that's a whole different story. So that's why we're going to go with this one. So let's start with disconnecting the negative terminal on the battery. Alright, gonna push this aside. What I like to do is grab these things that come on brand new batteries and just put it on there to protect it in case this thing accidentally slips. It doesn't make contact with the post. Alright, next thing is let's go ahead and get this cover out of here. So we need a trim panel tool to get these type of fasteners out. Don't be alarmed if these break. It's really common for them to break. Some of them are already broken, in fact. Alright, so let me continue to get all of them out of here. Alright, so that's all done. Get this out, set it aside, and I like to just keep all of the clips that go with it, keep it with the part. Next up, we got two 10mm fasteners holding on the air intake box right here, or at least a part of it. One, and the second one is right here. Oh, this reminds me, you guys seen those new Milwaukee cordless ratchets? They're looking pretty spiffy. I'm eyeballing one of them. I'm waiting for this one to die. Every time I use it, I can like smell burnt electronics inside of here. But I'm not gonna buy it just for the sake. I'm not one of those people that, oh, it's new and shiny tool, I gotta go ahead and buy it. I'm not like that. I'll just wait till that one eventually dies. But I've had it for a very long time and it's still kicking. So let's see if we could pop this out of here. There we go. And once again, whenever I set these things down, just grab the fasteners to go with it and just leave it somewhere nearby, or you could even just put them back right where they belong. Alright, so at this point we could see the starter down there. You can see I'm pointing at it with my laser, and yeah, it's kind of tight. There's a lot of crap around here. It would be nice to get the starter and like the ECU out of here, and I suppose you can do that if you wanted to. Starter, I don't know where I said starter, I mean battery. It's not necessary, but you know, it's up to you. If you want to get all this stuff, do the actual work to get it out the way to make the starter job a little bit easier. But I'm just gonna take the normal way and just leave all this stuff in place and just kind of work around it. So there's gonna be two fasteners holding on the starter. There's one of them that you guys can see right there. I'm gonna point at it with the laser. So these should be 16mm. There's one there, and it looks like the other one's gonna be right there. Here's a pro tip for anyone: if it's difficult to find out how an item is mounted on an engine or where the bolts are, all you have to do is grab the brand new part and look at it. And so on this one, this thing pretty much sits on the engine like this. You can see we have one bolt there, one bolt there, the ones I just pointed out with my laser. And if you look around, you can see there's nothing else holding this starter in place. So that it's not only for starters, it applies to almost any part on a car. If you just look at the new part, it'll tell you exactly where the fasteners are located. So I'm going to try to use a ratcheting wrench like this. I tried it with a socket on my ratchet, and there's just not a lot of clearance here. So let's see if this will work. Now normally on a starter, I like to disconnect the connections to the starter, like the power and the S terminal wire. But this one is just really tight area, not much space to get to them. So it seems like the way to do this is to unbolt the starter from the engine first, and then you can maneuver it up here, and it allows you to get to those two connections I just mentioned a lot easier. So it's a little bit backwards from how I would normally do things, but as long as it gets the job done, that's what's important. So this one did break it free. I'm gonna grab a shorter length ratcheting wrench, 16 millimeter, to continue to back out that bolt. It's not every day you get to use 16 millimeter. Or you know what? I got my finger on it right now, and it seems like it's turning pretty freely. Oh yeah, it is. So we'll just go ahead and pop this out right now. I love when bolts are like this, when all you gotta do is crack them free and then you could easily take them out with your fingers. There's nothing better than that. And there we have it. That's one of them. So that would be considered the lower bolt. From what I understand, the top one is going to be much longer, maybe like 2 or 3 times the length of this one. The irony is I'm doing this for my wife, right? So that her car is more reliable. And I think she just got mad at me because she's sitting here in the garage watching me work, and she already knows I don't like when people watch. Like, I can't make my YouTube videos if someone's watching me, even if it's her, you know what I mean? So the person I feel the most comfortable around, I told her, I'm like, can you just leave, like, and let me work, let me get this done alone? And I think she got upset. She told me I need to get over my stage fright, and it's not really stage fright. It's just I tried explaining that when I'm here alone working, I'm able to talk my mind and say what I want to say, you know what I mean? When someone's sitting here watching me, I feel like it changes the video 100%, because now I'm no longer able to just speak my mind and say stupid or crazy or funny things. You get what I'm saying? It turns into a directly, if someone's sitting here watching me work, it turns into a, okay, remove this now remove this, now remove this, now remove this, okay, the video's done. You get what I'm saying? Whereas when I'm here by myself, all the crazy thoughts that bounce into my head, I could say them to you guys, give you people a laugh, and you know, just if you watch my videos, you know exactly what I'm talking about. How sometimes I could come up with stupid or interesting things to say, but if someone's watching me, all that goes right out the window, and it just turns into a strictly DIY video, step by step, which gets really boring. All right, so I got a shorter ratcheting wrench. You can see again 16 millimeter, and if we look back there, you could see the top of the bolt, and there goes my ratcheting wrench, and right there on the bolt. I'm just going to apply some downward pressure, and hopefully it cracks free. Hopefully I don't lose any skin off of my knuckle. Oh boy, this one's tight. Oh God. Man, she's tight like a tiger. What do I do? Let's try the long. I'm gonna go back to my long ratcheting wrench I had here, but I'm gonna use the closed box end without the ratcheting end. Let's see if I can get at the right angle. That's not gonna work. Let's try the other end. Come on. Okay, so it's on the fastener, and I have like 1 or 2 clicks of the ratchet to work with. Let's see if we could crack it free. I just felt it turn just a little bit. Oh crap. Now there's a wire harness in the way, that's why I can't get many clicks out of this ratchet. Wow. Guys, this thing doesn't want to budge, and I mean, this is a long ratchet I'm using. Or I should say wrench. It's a ratcheting wrench. I mean, you get a ton of leverage with this wrench. Oh my goodness. It's not giving me the warm, fuzzy feelings. This thing does not feel right. Please do not break off. Come on. Work on cars, they said. It'll be fun. All right, so I got my 16 mil on the bolt that we're trying to remove. Let's get this tool, see if it works. It's for extending wrenches. And it probably won't work at the angle that we're at. But I'm desperate to try anything at this point. Yeah, look, we're already hitting the core support. It ain't one thing, it's another, right? Great. At this point, I really want to get the harness out of the way. And since it's still attached to the starter on this end, we can't really mess with it. But I can try to remove it off of these mounting locations. So there's one right here, and then there's another tab right there, as you can see. So I want to try to get those free, and hopefully to give me a little bit more slack where I could get this harness out of the direct path to the bolt that we're trying to get out. Here's a pro tip: whenever you're trying to disconnect anything plastic like that, just give it a heavy douching of some silicone lubricant, doesn't matter which brand, and it'll really help to remove plastic bits like that. Okay, so you can see the retainer down there for the harness. It looks like this pops up. It's almost like some sort of locking cam. And once that pops up, it allows this end to move freely, as you can see. I kind of need two hands for this, but you get the idea. So let me go ahead and get this harness out of the latch. I just realized there's another one right here just like it, so I could give you guys a better example. Give it a good douching. And instead of using my fingers, I'm just going to use picks to pop that up. And then basically, once it comes up high enough, you could go ahead and pull this end out. Just like that. Okay? See, now it's free. And you're free to take the harness out of this retainer. Hope that makes sense. Alright guys, so I moved the harness out of the way, but it made very little to no difference at all. So that was probably just wasted effort. Don't try to get the harness out of the way. It's not that big of a deal. But anyway, I came from up top with my ratchet, as you can see, and it's very sneaky to get my socket on there. You can see it's on the bolt right now. And that is a mid-length socket, if I remember correctly. So a short socket won't do the trick, a long one won't do it either. The mid-length works pretty good. And the ratchet has to be a flex head. It was the only way I was able to get that back there. You can see it's a very tight spot, so you absolutely need a flex head ratchet. Anyway, point is, so we have a very good purchase on that bolt, and I'm giving it all I can and it won't budge. So might have to put a breaker bar on it, and that's never good when you got to put a breaker bar on something. Let's hope for the best. I don't have much to extend the handle length of my ratchet. Let's try the pull for the floor jack. Go ahead and remove this. I don't know if it's gonna fit over the snap-on soft gripped ratchet handle. We'll give it a shot. Oh yeah, it fits. All right. Oh my goodness. Remember, because of the location, we can't continue to ratchet out, or I'm gonna get my ratchet stuck in there. We basically just want to break it free and go back to the normal method of using a wrench to get it out. It's hard to say, but I think it's spinning. Yeah, that's definitely spinning. So we're done with this. We could get this ratchet out. Alright, so I'm going to try ratcheting a wrench once again. You know, this should be ideal because it fits into tighter places, and that's exactly what we're dealing with. I'm still waiting for the day to someone to make a ratcheting wrench like this, but with this type of profile. That would be pretty sweet. I know I wouldn't be able to handle a lot of torque, but sometimes you don't need that. If you're aware of the tool and its limitations, I think they could make something this low profile and just understand it is for low torque applications. That would be pretty sweet. Anyways, let's see if we could get this one inside of here. All right, I got it on the bolt. Oh, she's still tight. Oh God. But it's definitely moving. Oh man, that hurts my hand. All right, let me get this bolt out of here. I know it's gonna take 15 minutes at this rate. All right, so I got the bolt backed out enough. You can see it right there. Enough so that I could reach in here with my hand, twist my elbow around, and just barely turn it with my fingers. This job would have been 5 times easier. Just remove the battery and the ECU. You know, hindsight's 20/20. If I ever had to do this again, I would definitely remove the battery, because then you would have all this space to come in with extensions on your ratchet and just easily get to these bolts without having to, you know, deal with these tight spaces. So, you know, an extra what, 5 or 10 minutes of work right here would save you so much time. Jesus Christ, Nissan. What the hell is this? It's like a never-ending story. Jeez, look at this monster. At least it's not full of corrosion and it didn't break off and all that good stuff. So now we can just set this down next to the other bolt. Twist it around so we have access to the terminals. Okay, so that popped out pretty easy. Okay, so the starter is out of the bell housing, and now I'm trying to twist the harness around to get the back of the starter to face upwards. All right, this should be good enough. There goes the back of the starter. This is the S terminal. It's the one that sends a signal to the starter to actually turn on, and the one right behind it, right here, my camera would focus, is going to be the power for the starter. So this is good enough. Let's go ahead and get them off. The S terminal is going to be a 8mm, and this one I believe is going to be a 13mm. Okay, so the small one is a 8mm, but the big one is not a 13. It's going to be a 12mm. But because of the corrosion and the location, I'm going to try to use my impact gun. That just sounds like it's spinning, like it's rounding off the nut. And we got it. Just got to make sure you go straight on the nut. If you come in at an angle, you're definitely gonna round that off. Just trying to get the nut out of my socket here. Yeah, it's in there pretty good. Anyway, you can see the terminal, or the S terminal, and I just dropped a little washer that was on it. Anyway, the S terminal is free. Oh, you know what? I'm an idiot. I was putting my socket right here, which is not the one we have to remove. The one we have to remove is obviously behind the dust cover. And it's still a 12mm, so I'm not wrong. Alright, let's try to get that one out. I just got my hand doing a classic reach around getting my hand on the bottom of the starter here to manipulate it so I could get a good purchase with my impact gun. Seems like it's on the nut pretty good. Let's give it a shot. There we have it. Alright, I don't see a washer on this one. So that's it. That's both of the wires. Now I'm going to try to feed the starter down underneath the radiator hose. That looks like the easiest way to get this thing out. This is definitely the way to take it out. Don't try to go past all these wires and everything on this side. Just pull it under and come right next to the exhaust manifold. And there goes our starter. As you can see, original Nissan part. It's lasted almost 200,000 miles and still kicking, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and save this because you'll never know. Alright, so I got the new starter right here. We're gonna feed it in the same way we took the old one out. So we're gonna go down next to the exhaust manifold and go under the radiator hose. Now we have the starter resting in the place where we had the old one. We're gonna have to go ahead and put the wires on it right now. You know, ideally you would want to pop it onto the bell housing right now and deal with the cables later on, but that's not the way it's gonna work for this one. So let's go ahead and get the wires on it. All right, so I got both of the wires reconnected, and of course no impact gun. Just use hand ratchet, little 1/4" tools, tighten them down. And ironically enough, the large nut on the new starter is now a 13 mil. So I was both right and wrong at the same time. Anyway, we'll go ahead, put the dust boot covers on, make sure it protects these posts. And it's time to feed the starter back into its home. Why is this so much more difficult to get it to go in rather than to take it out? What the heck? It's the harness. Come on. Oh, there we go. Okay. Alright, go home. You know you want to. Fall into place. Come on. There we go. Oh, yes. Alright. Alright, guys. I'm out of breath. Seems like the hard work is done. And just trying to make sure it mates up nicely against the bell housing, and it seems like it's there. I'll take the big one first. That's what she said. Alright. Alright, so I got the lower bolt in place and pretty much stuck down just with my fingers. You can see the upper bolt still needs about maybe like 1.25 inches to go all the way in. And I wanted to speed it up, so I'm using a tool. I got a 16 mil, but this one's 3/8 drive, so I have to use an adapter that converts 3/8 to 1/4 inch. And then I want the tightest or smallest ratchet I have, so it's a tiny little ratchet. And just to give you guys some reference, this right here is a standard 1/4 inch ratchet. See a difference? Okay, so I was gonna use this, but then I remembered, hold on, I just bought a new tool the other day. Haven't even used it. That's why it's still in the box. Look at that. If you thought that was small, look at this bad boy. Isn't that crazy? So it comes with this little 1/4 inch drive adapter, and it's just so dang cute. Look at this, guys. Say that's not cute. We'll pop this in here. And we'll take this off of here. This one's got the button release, so I actually like that. And we'll pop this on here. Nice. Alright guys, so just so we have a comparison, This is you, and this is the guy she told you not to worry about. All right, let's see if I can get this in there and at least get a few clicks out of this tiny little ratchet, enough to tighten that big 3-foot long bolt. And it's working. We're getting a few clicks out of the tiny little ratchet. Perfect case of when she asked you, where'd you learn how to do that? 2 bolts for the starter are fully tightened down. Before I 100% button this up, I want to reconnect the battery and make sure the car starts and that the new starter works. So yes, I know this battery needs to be cleaned up. I clean it once in a while and it just ends up the same like this. Should I even tighten down the battery post for the sake of testing? Nah, it'll be fine. All right. Let's see if she'll start up. Oh yeah. And guys, I mean, maybe I'm a little crazy, but it does seem to be cranking over faster than the old tired starter, which honestly makes sense. Almost 200,000 miles on it. So let's try it again. It's definitely cranking the engine over faster. All right, turned off. Get this turd out of my garage. You know, one thing I do have to address is, if you look back there, some of you may have noticed that looks to be a rodent trying to make a nest inside the engine bay of my wife's car. So not sure if I want to deal with that right now. It's like 9 p.m. Yeah, I don't feel like evicting someone at night. That's a horrible thing to do. You know, at least wait till the morning to evict someone, right? There we go. And this is perfect time to use our new stubby little ratchet again. You know, a little tiny tool like this, you don't want to over torque the battery post. But what I'm noticing is this is like a thumb drive. The edges are narrowed on it. You can actually feel it. So you can see what I'm doing here. That's pretty sweet. Convenient for tight places. And we'll do one final start. Nice. Alright guys, so that's going to be it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And like always, thanks for watching.